And welcome back to another GACC podcast where we are going to be discussing games, anime, computers, and collectibles, but not necessarily all those in one week. I am still your host, Harrison, and to my right,
James.
And to my left,
I'm still Faust.
And we
hope so.
Yes. Hopefully. Mm-hmm. So I think somebody else has been trying to give themselves different names every week.
Not every week.
Okay.
Almost.
I identify myself now as a phone.
It's different than a meat popsicle.
Or an attack helicopter.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to be an attack helicopter.
Too late. You already chose phone.
Oh, man. I want to shoot like little missiles.
You have to wait till next week to re-roll your stats.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm stuck as a phone. So does that? I get to change my ringtones every hour?
Or you can burst into flames if you're a Samsung.
Oh,
No.
You've been a phone this whole time, haven't you?
Right?
Just playing ringtones every
listen.
5 minutes.
Hey, listen. Hello.
Well.
Hello.
Speaking of
Hello.
Speaking of
Hello.
lists.
Okay.
You're going to go for Navi for the Comic-Con? Is that what you're practicing to do?
I could do that, yeah.
Yeah, you could. Well, speaking of Comic-Cons and whatnot, we're going to talk first about the Duke City Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. Because that is coming up here in 2 weekends.
I'm quite excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is me excited.
Yes.
Yay.
I was half excited and half stressed and half pulling out my hair.
Which means we're in the con.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. You guys are going to be all there, standing with your signs.
Well, you're going every day.
Yeah.
Kind of have to.
Kind of have to. So, Duke City Comic-Con is going to be May 12th through May 14th.
Yeah.
It's going to be at the Embassy Suites Hotel in their convention center downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is the first time that they've done a summer con since Ace got bought out by Wizard World, and Wizard World has flaked for 3 years running. They've pulled out.
They bought.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they bought the old one. And
they bought Ace, and then Ace was pretty cool.
It was all right.
But apparently it was enough to draw this Wizard World in, and then Wizard World bought it and dismantled it completely.
Well, I thought they bought it because the last time that Ace ran, they had the one with William Shatner was the last one, and after that he just couldn't afford to keep up with it. That's what I thought. That's what I heard. That might not be true.
Well, no, the getting the William Shatner thing I think was more of a cash in, because what I understand is he got William Shatner. Basically, he mortgaged his house to pay William Shatner to show up to the con.
Wow.
And because William Shatner was showing up to the con, he was able to pay off that mortgage and the other mortgage that he had on his house and basically cash in. And then Wizard World kind of said, well, if you have the pulling power to bring in Shatner, of all people, then your convention must be worth something, or it will be worth something. Mm-hmm. And then they bought it, and then they realized it's an Albuquerque convention.
And they're like, damn it.
This isn't even on the list of, like, we're not even the top 20 when it comes to comic conventions. Like, we're a
California
stop.
is like the top 5, right?
San Diego Comic-Con is number 1.
Number 1.
New York Comic-Con is number 2. Mm-hmm. Salt Lake Comic-Con is number 3.
Cool. Who's number 4?
C2E2.
Nice.
Which is where I was.
Cool. In Chicago,
yes. I went there for a day.
Did you get any pictures?
I got some stuff. I mean, I might put it up here over this general description, things like that. I got a little bit of like con walk footage and stuff like that, but nothing really.
Did you have a nice Chicago hot dog?
I had several, in fact.
Those were probably good.
Chicago style hot dogs. They know how to make hot dogs in Chicago.
Sweet.
Jury's still out on the pizza, though. I think I'm more of a New York pizza.
Chicago style pizza is a lot different.
Yeah. It's like a pizza lasagna.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, the deep dish.
Deep
when
dish
they say deep dish,
diabetes.
they mean deep dish. So you get a small pizza and you can eat that literally for a week.
Probably.
Just deep dish Chicago
but
pizza.
New York pizzas are just as bad. But anyways, enough about pizza and food.
So Duke City Comic Con, we're going to be there all 3 days.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have a booth in Art Alley.
Yes.
As far as I know.
Which basically means it's like 8 feet by 2.5 feet.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some merch there. We're going to go and kind of support our channel and support other local creators as they stop by. Mm-hmm. That means you're going to be there all 3 days. I'm going to try and show up as much as I can.
I'll show up one day. Ooh, maybe I can cosplay as Afro Samurai.
Well, the idea was we wanted to
You're almost there.
I'm almost there.
The idea was we wanted to try and actually shoot a podcast at Duke City Comic Con.
I think we will Saturday. It's just a matter of do we do it during the do we do it before everything opens Saturday or do we do it after everything closes?
I do it before.
Yeah, I do it before.
Yeah,
probably just because I know me and my energy levels, and it's after after I'm running around all day at a con, then you're gonna say, okay, time to record a show. It's like I barely have the energy to record this show when I haven't done anything beforehand. And
we'll start doing more things beforehand.
I'm working on that. I've got to drop this extra poundage that I apparently came back from Chicago with.
Well,
it's all those Chicago dogs.
Yeah,
all those Chicago dogs.
All the hot dogs, man.
Yeah.
Well, in regards to this, I'm going to try to see if I can look through some of the photos here because they've finally got. So this is weird. So the Duke City Comic Con is done by the same people who do the Albuquerque Comic Con and the Santa Fe Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so take that for what it is. Okay.
I've been to those cons. They're not bad.
It's what we got.
Yeah.
Like, literally, there's not much else besides these cons.
I like them. They're pretty fun.
And, a lot of the people on the circuit think they treat this as a legitimate stop along the way.
Yeah. We have... Apparently, they've added Jake the Snake.
Oh,
really? Jake the Snake?
Nice.
Jake the Snake. Yeah. But I think celebrities I know we've like covered before. So
which Ranger is going to be there this time?
Two of them, the original Blue Ranger and the original Black Ranger.
Cool.
So yeah.
Sorry, it's like a thing now. It's like every con I've seen there's a Power Ranger of some sort there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of where they show up.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they definitely have Nicholas Brendan. That's Buffy. Walter Jones, which was the Black Ranger.
Wait. What was he, Buffy?
Nicholas Brendan.
He was in Buffy.
In Buffy.
In Buffy.
Because he wasn't Buffy.
Sarah Michelle Gellar was Buffy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Walter Jones. You have David Yost, who was the Blue Ranger.
Cool.
Diamond Dallas Page. Marty Kleba. Little guy from Pirates of the Caribbean and Project X.
Mm-hmm.
Angus McGinnis, who was one of those everyman roles, known for like Star Wars.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, that guy. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And I guess they've added a few others, such as Jake the Snake. I'm trying to look through these pictures and see if there's actually anything else in there.
Anything new?
Anything new?
Oh, interestingly enough, coming up to the water here, we got about 2 weeks left before the con, and we haven't really heard more than the usual promotional stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
hopefully it doesn't turn out to be another one of those kind of like that resort thing that just blew up over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
So apparently this super hoity-toity, like high cost resort trip weekend, spring break weekend was sold to a whole bunch of people who dropped anywhere from $450 for a day pass to $12,000 for a basic package, and then more for VIP treatment and things like that. To show up to this, what they were promised was a private island, masseuses, celebrity shows, VIP shows.
Private island here?
No, not here.
Oh,
like
okay.
in somewhere in the tropics.
Okay.
They had like luxury tents and alcohol on tap all day, and gourmet food and all this other stuff. And so people dropped a lot of money on these. Anywhere between $450 to $12,000, and then they show up, and the tents are leftover relief tents from USAID. The catering is basically like bread and cheese, and the staff is non-existent. The staff is non-existent. The celebrities that they said would be there had either backed out or were to be announced or had not even been invited.
Nice.
And so it's like they just grabbed all of this money and just disappeared.
Well, that's one of the shady ones, but I think if I was going to say anything, it's like, you can't do worse than TumblrCon, though. With effort.
The U.S. Embassy evacuated everybody.
But that was a full shyster thing versus like TumblrCon was a straight effort, and that fell through. That was the one where you hear about and you see the picture of like Slender Man sitting in the ball pit.
Yeah,
that was TumblrCon. Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of this one.
That's crazy.
But they've announced cosplayers. They've announced a guy named Jesse James, who I guess cosplays as the Joker. Harley 505 is going to be there. There's going to be old man here. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
Fire Festival in the Bahamas is what I was talking about.
Gotcha.
Madison Vanderlinger, Jackie Daniels. These are cosplay.
Jack Daniels.
Jackie Daniels.
Yeah, these are all cosplayers.
Yes.
We seem to try to invite these cosplayers, and if you remember the last time we reported
Kitty
about
Kaboom.
that. Yeah, the last time we reported about that at Albuquerque Comic Con, the cosplayers were some of the most bored-looking people
Yes.
there.
Yes. And actually, the time before was the Santa Fe Comic Con. We talked about that and how that turned into a PR nightmare because some things were said in regards to cosplayers being just basically they didn't want professional ones hired by big agencies that were just showing up in skimpy costumes. But they were trying to get more local cosplayers, and that turned into a PR nightmare for the Santa Fe one. And there's Kimberly Danaway, and you're going to have to apologize if I'm butchering names
It's
here.
a tiny picture in a very weird font.
Yes. So it is very hard to read on the phone. They have announced artists also that are actually going to be there. There's going to be David Brohawk Williams. It's going to be there, and he's done things like G.I. Joe, Legends of the Dark Knight, Wolverine, First Class. I know there was a couple others in here that they announced, like artist wise, that are going to be there, and it's going to be Andy Kuhn and Francesco are going to be there. That are big name artists. And these are not on their actual website. That's why I was going to go look, unless you're actually seeing them there now, because I did not see them there before.
See, Andy Kuhn, David Brohawk Williams. Yes, they are here.
Okay. Do they get the cosplayers up there yet?
Francesco artist. Those are not listed as official guests.
Yeah. So they update their Facebook page first, and you have to I have to apologize, guys. I do not put Facebook on my phone.
I don't either.
Part of it is.
It gives your phone cancer.
Yes, it gives your phone cancer. 100% admit to that. And on top of that, it's for me, it's a security type thing, you know? So
it's a security risk. Your phone is basically always logged into Facebook, even if you tell it not to log into Facebook.
Well, not just that, but it's even like, so Boss Panda recently, she plays Facebook games, okay, or those mobile games.
Yes, she does.
And one of them got hacked, and basically they tried to charge one of our credit cards twice for $40. And so, yeah, there's reasons why I stay away from mobile games, the pay-to-play ones and everything like that. So there are reasons why I do not keep that stuff on my phone. So Duke City Comic Con looks like it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's for being a first-time event that's being done. So it's showing some promise. Okay.
Yeah, they have enough pull from their other efforts with the other Comic Cons to bring something like this in, and this almost reminds me more of what it's a summer con. It's trying to keep it, because the Albuquerque Comic Con's in January.
Yes,
and Santa Fe Comic Con's not too far after that,
till like October.
Yeah. So I mean, having something of a summer con in Albuquerque, because Ace is gone, and Ace had the summer turnout. And maybe they got a wind that a lot of people were saying, I'd go to Albuquerque Comic Con if it were in the summer. Having it be in winter is a completely different turnout, and it felt almost like going to an indoor flea market in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go and see what kind of turnout we get here. I'm excited to go see the cosplay. I'm excited to browse the merch floor and see some celebrities and things like that.
I haven't even heard who's going to be on the merch floor. We're 2 weeks out now, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is being handled in a traditionally Albuquerque way.
Yeah.
So
the artist alley should be okay, because I mean that's the one thing from the last one was that at least the artist alley felt more like a con. It wasn't necessarily all crammed up and everything else like that.
But we'll be there. We'll have a booth. It's Jenny Fedora. We'll just look for the Jenny and the Fedora.
Yep. And we are going to have other local creators stopping in also that are content creators. So, it's like what's the guy you saw up in Chicago? Channel Awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, Channel Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So
the Nostalgia Critic was
Yep.
specifically billed, but yes, Channel Awesome was all there.
So if this is something, hopefully we're going to be starting to set a precedence at least here for Albuquerque, because I mean, if other content creators like Channel Awesome can go to cons.
Markiplier has done cons before and shown up, but that's just him showing up as Markiplier, not like the Markiplier channel. He is his channel.
Yes.
Channel Awesome showing up and being able to represent not just the stuff that they do with their own, because each and every one of them has their own separate effort within the channel, and then they have stuff that they come together and work for, and plenty of crossovers and stuff like that. So Nostalgia Critic was there. Well, the guy, the brains behind it, the guy and his brother, can't remember his name, Doug Walker and Scott Walker, I'm going to want to say.
Doug Walker and Scott Walker.
Yeah.
Why don't you put in like
let me fact check
Walker, Texas Ranger too while you're at it.
Doug and Rob Walker. Sorry, Rob.
Texas Ranger.
Hey, I got to get into the dad joke, okay?
Doug and Rob Walker, who are the brothers behind the bulk of the Channel Awesome things and bringing people together and doing essentially what we do, of having this channel of trying to keep a community growing around it and everything like that.
Right.
We're there, and I got a chance to see them, but the line was out the door to like go and like actually stand up and shake their hands and speak with them and photo ops and all of that. And that's because they weren't really treated like a celebrity panel. They got the turnout for it.
Yes.
They didn't get to, they weren't set like a meet and greet though. They were out on the merch floor and had a booth there, and people were lining up to speak with them.
That's because most cons go poo-poo on content creators and don't know what to do with them, It's
like, look, we're there to represent and give the con coverage and give ourselves coverage with the con. So it's a mutually beneficial arrangement, guys. If anybody's involved in con planning with that kind of thing, like go to your YouTube creators, find your local creators, and make sure that they're supported, because they're the ones who are going to get the word out. They're the first line for social engineering and making sure that your promotion is top notch.
True.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't even know if they're going to do panels. If anybody would like to ever see us on a panel, why don't you put something in the comments?
Please do.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I can easily get on stage and bullshit in front of like what? I don't know, all 50 people are going to show up for a panel about us.
We're gonna have 5 people. We're gonna have 5 people show up and not wonder. It's gonna be like our equivalent of a Tumblr con.
If 5 people show up, we'll just sit around and play Magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will absolutely do that. We'll go to a con and just be like, we're just gonna sit there and play Magic. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
We got an hour. Let's see what we can do for a Magic tournament.
Yeah. It's like we're gonna play Commander.
They had table games at C2E2, actually. Like
that's what I expected.
They had table games there. Like just anything that played on a table too.
So let's get into C2E2.
Yes.
Because you just came back from that.
I just came back. I went there for a day. I spent a week in Chicago, and C2E2 just happened to be going on while I was there. Mm-hmm. So we managed to get in for a day, and I got to walk around on Saturday.
Okay.
For the bulk of that. Of course, we've been walking around a lot before that, so my feet were falling off, and I was pretty slow getting around. But I managed to see a lot of really great stuff. I did bring some notes of different things that I found interesting there, and things that I met. But yes, I saw Channel Awesome there.
Wait. Okay, for all of our audio listeners.
Yeah.
So Faust is pulling his notes out of his wallet.
Yes.
This is how you know we are old, folks.
Yeah.
Okay. So continue on with your notes. So you just pulled out of your wallet.
So the two things that I found interesting, that I was able to grab that, and I unfortunately misplaced a lot of information between phone cleanings and just general exhaustion and stuff like that. So Danny Cat Designs, which I will pass this over to here. But basically, it's this wonderful woman who makes plush cat designs. Dani, D-A-N-I. Yeah, she makes plush cat designs of different pop culture things, and she actually has her own line, like think Beanie Babies, of named cats. Like sort of a collect them all sort of thing.
Yeah.
She's sort of a local Chicago creator there. And I thought it was really cute. And I just didn't have the money to put towards getting a whole bunch of stuffed Etsy cats for myself.
What was the price range for her Etsy cats? Or her Danny cats?
Yeah, I could have changed.
Why didn't you get me a Loki cat?
I got you something.
Why didn't you?
You're wearing what I got you.
Why didn't you get a Jenny cat?
A Jenny cat?
Yeah.
I could probably commission one from her.
Because that's not a cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So, the other one is the Leather Lair, which is unique leather clothing by Suzanne. There's nothing really on the card there, but they do custom leather outfits. They do bodices, corsets. They do capes. They do tunics for guys, leather armor.
Is this a shop that you find right between Castle Superstore and Dancers?
Maybe. This is kind of on the lines of like that's custom leather work that you can order, and they do a really good job on the detailing. I've seen a lot of really cool stuff there, and I was hoping they could be able to make something for me, but I'm gonna have to like look that up and commission it. The other things I noticed,
I don't want to see you on stage in leather.
No, I'm not gonna wear anything
Wrong
like
type
that.
of leather, dude.
Yeah, wrong leather. I was thinking like a bag or a book or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Please know your types of leather.
I know my type of leather that I like, and
Listen, keep
a
your
reason.
kinky stuff to yourself. No one wants to hear that here.
The other thing that I got is actually the shirt that I'm wearing here, which is the Stabbity Bunny comic book, which is up pretty far up in its.
Stabbity Bunny comic book.
Stabbity Bunny. Stabbity.
This reminds me. This sounds similar to Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
It is drawn from a lot of the same influences, I believe. There's a lot of intrigue. In fact, when I was there, where they were selling the first 5 issues at $20, I got the issue number 1 signed by the writer of the series here, who I'm going to look up because I'm probably going to butcher the name. And between the art style and the writing, I'm drawn in. I was hooked to begin it. So Richard Rivera, who's the creator and writer of Stabbity Bunny, started working on the series in 2012.
Okay.
It's kind of evolved into something where I still haven't read more than the first 5 issues. I'm waiting on my order for the rest. But I've been drawn in by the first 5 issues because there's this really deep series of intrigue where they're setting up different characters and arcs that are involved, all revolving around the main character of this girl. Yeah.
Some girl with her...
this innocent girl with her stuffed rabbit and her mother. Focus on Grace Lee, 7-year-old girl, and her brother, her stuffed rabbit named Stabbity Bunny.
This is sounding like Calvin and Hobbes, but darker.
Yes, darker, because the first issue actually has Grace getting kidnapped by this very clown-looking, like think McFarlane Spawn clown-looking guy who is very sinister and evil, and apparently he's been hired to hold Grace for ransom from her mother and her family. And it sparks a series of events. But as the guy is basically been ordered to kill or harm Grace, something nebulous happens to him, something very sinister, that apparently revolves around the stuffed rabbit Stabbity Bunny. And you don't see what's going on with that in the first 5 issues. You don't see exactly what's going on with Stabbity or how people are ended up, how she's protected by this rabbit, but apparently he's a protector of Grace. Okay. And by apparently, from what I was hearing from Mr. Rivera, the episode 6 is where you get the big reveal of what Stabbity is actually about. So I'm excited to see that.
Okay.
Cool.
So definitely, I told him, "Hi, Richard. I was gonna plug him on the show and wear the shirt, and that's why he gave me the super special shirt because they were selling the first order of shirts they had were actually 16 colors, which is why you can see some detailing there through the cat fur and everything." As opposed to the 2-color shirts, which are just white and red.
16 color shirts cost a lot.
They cost
to
a lot
print.
of money, so I do appreciate the hookup. That was amazing.
Yeah, and I know because I just looked at printing shirts.
Yeah, so stabbitybunny.com is where you can get most of your information about that and do your orders. They were at C2E2. I'm pretty sure they're making the rounds. To find out more, let's see if they have any other announced appearances.
I saw that they did actually. They are going to be at looks like I thought Pennsylvania Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, Wizard World Philadelphia in June.
Yeah.
So yeah, Philadelphia Wizard World is going to be June 1st through 4th. Stabbity Bunny is going to be there. It looks like they're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con in July. And New York Comic-Con in October. And some other stuff going into next year. But
yeah, and it's really great. If you guys go there and you see them, tell them Jenny Fedora sent you. Faust to Jenny Fedora specifically. He'll probably not even remember it all because that booth was pretty locked up. But I mean, when you go walking up to a booth and it just says in big letters over it, Stabbity Bunny, Like, that draws me in completely. And I told him as much as like, okay, I've already seen the name, I'm hooked. What? Tell me more. And he gave me a full rundown of the first 5 issues and like where he got his inspiration for it and everything. So it was really great to just get a chance to talk with them and figure that out and be able to promote it on the show here. So I'm keeping my promise. Definitely.
Cool.
So is there anything else out at the con, or was it all just Stabbity Bunny for you?
It was all just Stabbity Bunny after a point. I mean, like I said, my feet were falling off. I managed to get there and could be completely unprepared with, like, I forgot to put a card in my camera, and I forgot my phone can actually take video and stuff like that. Now, I did manage to, because we went there, the initial draw was that David Hayter was going to be there, that Steve Blum and Jennifer Hale were going to be there, because these are names that we've been hearing in video games for ages now, years. It was nice to see the other turnouts. Let me just.
Yes. Oh, you're not ready.
I'm not
You're
ready.
not
No,
ready.
I'm not ready.
Not ready.
Okay, so Rich Horvitz was there. Rich Horvitz is actually a very favored voice actor for me. I liked a lot of the characters that he's played. He's been most notably played Invader Zim, and that show Invader Zim.
Your brain's not ready.
Yeah, my brain
today.
is not working today. You're gonna have to give me at least a bit of a pass. Dave Fennoy was there, also known as the voice of somebody in Star Wars Clone Wars, but I never watched that series. And then he was the voice of Zul'jin in World of Warcraft. All the Zul'jin voice lines were him.
Nice.
David Hayter, of course, voice of Snake. Several other things. Steve Blum in everything. Just absolutely everything.
David Yost was there. Mr.
David
Blue
Yost
Pow-
was there, yeah, but he wasn't in the panel. So was Jason David Fig. Jim Cummings was there. Voice of Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, several other various and sundry things. Jennifer Hale, most notably the voice of female Shepard in the Mass Effect series.
The original one. The good series.
The good series.
The good series.
Yes.
Jordan Cruz. So they had Rooster Teeth people there.
They had Rooster Teeth people there, but I wasn't really paying attention to that.
You hear that, folks? Look, that's another content creator, online creator, content creator.
Yeah.
That's at a comic panel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then Richard Horvitz, which is Invader Zim, Daggett the Beaver from Angry Beavers, Billy from Billy and Mandy. Like when you hear that he's all these creatures, like, oh yeah, they all kind of sound the same, but you wouldn't know that unless you knew it was all him. Steve Blum. I mean, they all sat around, and Troy Baker. They all sat around and acted out with their in character with the different characters that they played. They acted out the opening to Back to the Future. In script form with a narrator and everything like that. And it was probably it was the one where they took off the reins and decided not to be like kid friendly or anything like that. So it was actually a really amazing,
That's good.
hilarious thing to watch. And we got a lot of footage of that because thankfully my traveling partner decided to bring his GoPro. I'm not too sure exactly how well that all turned out though, but apparently you watched some of it and said it came out all right. So there was that, but by the time we got done with that, I mean, having to get to the panel, which was like at the last conference room in the back, and I had to walk all the way across after walking around the merch floor, and my feet were already falling off when I got there. So, I mean, by the time we got done, both me and Joe were ready to just be done and be out of there, and that was the end of my C2E2 experience.
we need to get to a point where we're making like some more money. That way I can like put in optional incentives for gym time for, some of us that are
Yeah, some of you guys need gym times.
unable to.
Yeah,
exercise
I need a gym
properly.
membership. I'm hopefully I can get some.
I need gym time?
Yeah, you do.
Are you kidding me? I run around at work and lift like 30-pound like
And then
workstations
you
all
complain
day.
about it all day.
And you injured yourself.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I did.
And then you injured yourself. Yep, you need that gym membership, buddy.
Okay, fine.
But yes, I had a really great time at C2E2. I know that's probably going to temper things for me when I'm going into like Duke City, but I'm going to be trying to be behind the scenes at Duke City Comic Con and be there for the creators and people who are interested in the show. Not that I expect really anybody to show up, but I'm a pessimist. You have to understand that. If you do show up, great. Come and tell me. Come and prove me wrong. But otherwise, it'll be great just to be there and be at the con.
Can we throw a pie at your face?
You can pie me if.
Oh my god!
Tell you what, you can pie me if 50 unique people show up to our table. You can pie me.
See, I like this. I like
No,
this.
no.
Don't you like this?
50 unique people that say, we heard James and you talking on a podcast about a pie in the face.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, 50 people, unique people, come in. We'll keep tally. You will keep tally. And if 50 people come in and say, we want James to pie Faust in the face, after hearing it on this show, then I will take a pie in the face. You can pie me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the nice thing is we're about 30 minutes in at this point, so we'll see how many people have shut off the podcast before this point.
That's when I start talking about things, and they're like, and we're done.
To get off comic news, I did want to mention one thing that did come up in the news that I found quite interesting. Apparently, for release on Xbox One and PS4, they are going to be releasing Night Trap, which is one of that controversial full-motion video game.
A limited release version of it. Basically, it's a port that's being done. There's a group that takes certain games and remakes them for newer consoles. So yes, Night Trap is coming out in a limited release, small run type thing.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, so after seeing the release of Late Shift, which is another title along the same lines.
Never heard of both these games.
Night Trap was actually one of the very first video games to spark controversy as far as video games being violent or corrupting youth and things like that. Because Night Trap involved a group of girls having a slumber party of which you spied on them using a security system. As you are part of this, you're a part of a police group. You're a police-ish kind of person who is monitoring this slumber party to make sure the girls don't get kidnapped by vampires.
Yes.
And you have to spring traps that are set up all around the house.
Wait, no, I think I've seen previews for this.
Yeah, you spring traps that are set up all around the house. And the vampires, weirdly, they show up and they either drag these girls off in a very inconspicuous way.
Oh, yeah, and it looks... the graphics on that thing look terrible.
Yeah. It was full motion video in the mid 90s.
Yeah,
Come on.
Was it was on a Sega CD.
Yeah, I remember seeing this.
So this was back when there was no ESRB rating system. This game came out and people saw it and immediately just poo-pooed it and didn't want to have anything to do with it. It actually led to the Supreme Court cases that led to the ESRB being established.
No. This was the United States Senate, not started having conversation about this. This and Mortal Kombat. And
Doom. Don't forget Doom.
Doom was in there too. Mm-hmm. And it was actually the industry came together and put together the ESRB board before Congress and the government actually fully implemented something. That way there at least to be some control still over the rating system.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this game led to a lot of talks, and Joe Lieberman, who's still a freaking senator, oh my god, the guy's ancient, was basically the one that was saying all the bad things about this game. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because of Game of Thrones. And then you look back at this and you're all like, this was controversial.
This was controversial back in the day.
Back in that time frame.
If you watch a playthrough of Night Trap, the gameplay looks absolutely horrific because it's basically just a rhythm game without any indication of what you need to do.
Yeah, it was 92. It was like, Dragon's Lair was like that, you know.
Yeah, it was a Dragon's Lair kind of thing or Space Ace kind of thing where it was you do the right thing in the right order and you do it. I remember playing an FMV game with Rob Schneider in it. Which was basically just you choose left, right, or forward or whatever, and if you depending on the direction and the time that you do it is you either win or you lose. And this is essentially what Night Trap is. You have to be looking at the right place at the right time and trigger the trap at the right point in time to prevent the vampires from kidnapping the girls. And there really isn't a sense of like slumber party per se. There's no it's not sexualized in any way. It's just a way of having this innocent group of people that you're watching in a very innocent setting. Innocent. I mean, it's just girls at a slumber party. They're not even like wearing anything revealing or anything like that. They're wearing 90s girls' clothes.
Well, there were some 90s, but it was it was long 90s. And
your grandma's 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was 92.
Yeah.
So
it was controversial.
Yeah.
And it led to a lot of changes within the game industry. And so now, 25 years later, they're getting a limited release or a re-release.
Yes, I did see that. 25th anniversary release was announced April 25th for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a... How did that happen?
That is...
Is that magic?
Yeah, your cat is magic.
Oh my gosh. Okay, keep talking, guys.
We're being invaded
Oh,
here.
wait.
So...
No, there was... No. There was not magic involved. There was...
trickery.
Trickery.
No.
Yes. Because the door's closed again. Anyways, we've just been invaded by cats, folks.
Great.
If you're on the audio podcast. So if...
Yeah, we went from one cat in here just kind of calmly sleeping to 3 cats now who are all sort of active. But it doesn't help that, the cat food and the cat boxes are both in this room. Mm-hmm. So,
take it as it is. If we see cats that show up,
So
we'll hear.
In the realm of retro gaming, the other thing I wanted to mention is apparently there's a new game mode coming into Grand Theft Auto 5 where they're actually going to switch it to a top-down camera view. And
the mini racers.
And have you play races.
Yes.
With that in mind. Now, that harkens back to the original way that the Grand Theft Auto was presented, which was the top-down on the PlayStation versions. And they did get a PC release of the original PlayStation Grand Theft Auto 2, and I believe the Britain side game, Grand Theft Auto Britain or something like that.
Yes, I remember that.
GTA UK.
Yep.
As far as the top-down kind of thing goes, I mean, I had a lot of fun driving around in Grand Theft Auto, the originals, the top-downs and things like that, but it was almost always that things just got moving too fast for me to react, really. And so now I'm not sure exactly how much of a nostalgia, rush I'm going to get from something like this, where it is a full, HD 60 frames or more rendering.
Nope. Keep going.
I don't know either.
Our kid is being threatened. So, I was excited. I mean, I was a little excited to hear it just because if it can take a game like Grand Theft Auto, which is most notoriously in the third person, and lets you kind of cam about and drive about in that way. And they've already set up plenty of races and stunts and weird zany stuff, and had already been doing their best to kind of weed out the people who are just kind of ruining the experience for everybody and stuff like that. And they put in this new mode of gameplay. I wonder how much of a creator-centric vibe you're going to get, whereas you can create a race and say this race is top down, or is this going to be just more Rockstar creating races and making them top down?
Don't know, because I haven't been in the scene for a while.
Yeah.
But it's exciting to hear about, and I think that's some footage that we're going to see popping up on the internet or on the streams.
Already starting to.
Yeah, it's already starting to.
So next week, Prey comes out.
Yeah.
I think on 5/5 in 2016.
Yes.
Are you guys excited?
No.
Yeah?
I mean, I was excited for a new Prey until I saw that coffee cup rolling across the floor. And to tell you the truth,
Oh, when he turned into a coffee cup.
Yeah, he turns into a coffee cup and
goes
it's
inside there.
This
or
is
not turns into, but turns into a coffee cup. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I have to say that my interest for it flagged a little bit. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate an original idea as far as game design is concerned or something like that. But when you say Prey to me, I think back to the original Prey video game.
Oh, I thought that too, but it's a completely different one.
Yeah, which is, in my mind, a shooter. And if you're taking a shooter and you're turning it into some sort of semi-Katamari adventure puzzle following kind of thing.
This is still a shooter.
That's the problem, though.
This is Prop Hunt, the single-player experience.
That's my problem.
Minus the clown here.
Think about what one of the things that was said that was to be a weakness of Duke Nukem Forever, which was all of the set pieces and puzzles that were involved there were just sort of flow-breaking things that were just sort of they felt shoehorned in, and it took away from the essential feel of a Duke Nukem game, which is all of that stuff was just supposed to be extra toys and things like that. It wasn't stuff you were required to do, but stuff that you could discover to do in Duke Nukem 3D and your Shadow Warrior and stuff like that. When Duke Nukem Forever did it, it was something you were required to do, and it was janky and difficult to control, and completely broke the flow of the video game because it wasn't like you could just stop and relax for it. You had to do that in order to continue. The game jerked to a halt and said you had to do this.
Okay.
And so that's the thing with Prey is it gives me a sense that these things are going to be sort of shoehorned in gimmicks.
You think so?
Yeah, that I it's going to just kind of pull away from whatever kind of gameplay there happens to be.
Is it just the cup thing that got you?
It's the cup thing that gave me that initial idea. You forget cynical, and I think I'm smarter than my own good. So
I think the game will be fine.
Yeah.
I think the game looks fun. I'm going to give it a shot.
I'll definitely watch it and check it out, but I'm going to have to see some actual factual gameplay footage.
Have you seen the most recent
with that integrated in? No, I haven't been watching it. I'll wait for it to drop. The other thing is I don't buy into the whole hype train thing. I like a game to give me a fresh experience. I don't want to see all of that player spoiler stuff even going into it.
Well, even No Man's Sky, which was probably like the last hype train that we kind of fell for.
God.
We didn't pre-order, and we did not watch everything in regards to it. So that way, we did not.
Yeah.
We came away with a different experience than
I saw that trailer. I saw
everybody else.
I saw the teaser trailer, and that was it.
Cool.
And when it dropped, I was like, okay, I went in expecting that. I didn't get that, but I still got a very pretty exploration game. It had a lot of potential to it. And then after all the backlash and everything, what we got to analyze, because, hey, I have this new YouTube show. What do we talk about? The game itself, No Man's Sky, still holds up. Now, Prey, I'm willing to give a same shot, but you can't, in this day and age with this industry, you cannot trust pre-rendered trailers. You cannot trust gameplay trailers that have been choreographed. You cannot trust anything that has been said about it, because thanks to people like Sean Murray, who are just willing to say anything to get you to buy the game. So... And it's not just Sean Murray. That's people within the industry, heavily within the industry as far as distribution is concerned. These companies will say anything and everything before the fact to get you excited to buy the game before you've even seen it, before you even play it. They want $60 out of your pocket just because they say so.
9 months, and this is usually 9 months even before the game actually comes out.
Yes.
And then you get GameStop going, do you want to pre-order for only $5? Do you want to pre-order for only $5?
Yeah. So they want money out of your pocket before they even show you a game. Really.
Yep.
And they're saying anything and everything they can think of to get you to buy that game. They're going to show you anything that they can even feasibly justify being in the game. And then if it gets taken out, oh well. That was just cutting room. That was alpha beta footage. That was early access, guys. So I don't buy into the hype train. And when I saw that coffee cup rolling across the floor, I was like, okay, I'm going to hold back. I'm going to stop paying attention to it. I'm going to see exactly what comes out. And when I see some actual gameplay for it, I'll decide whether or not I want to buy it. And I'll probably pick it up for $5 in a Steam sale 2 years from now.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Yeah.
So speaking of games, Halo 6, they start talking about it.
Is there a pre-order for it now too?
Well, so Halo 5 died on the table. Halo 5 was panned.
Halo 5 wasn't about Master Chief though, right?
That was the problem.
It was about some I haven't even played it yet, so I can't say.
From what I can tell, and this is actually just viewing a few of the levels and stuff like that, there are Spartans, of which Master Chief is one. And I believe Master Chief is either mentioned or playable for a couple of missions, but then they pull that Solid Snake thing in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh,
and
yes.
They have you playing with some totally other different character and a totally other different group of thing. Other things that are changed are it's squad based.
They did that in the one before it too, didn't they?
They did in Reach. Was that?
Okay, so Reach was not really necessarily squad based.
Okay.
You would sometimes have one other NPC with you.
So Halo 5 is heavily squad based of the lines, along the same lines as like your Gears of War, where if you go down and you're sitting there just kind of like crying and throwing a tantrum on the ground until your friend comes up and kind of like pats you on the back and tells you it's okay. And from what I can tell, the controls are floaty and difficult to understand. The firefights are, Halo firefights, but 343 Halo firefights.
Okay.
So you can tell that Bungie is no longer involved in creating these games. And now what you were getting at was that 343 has come out with a statement saying that Halo 6 is going to go back to concentrating on Master Chief. And that has earned a lot of the crying fans have been pacified by knowing that their beloved Master Chief is going to come back into play.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I still need to play Halo 5, man. I'm failing as a Halo fan.
I stopped playing it too.
Oh yeah, you don't count. What was the word you said? Past what you were saying earlier?
What?
The kind of person you are?
I'm a pessimist.
Pessimist. Yeah. I'm just giving you shit, man.
Yeah, I'll admit I may have missed out on some decent experiences when it comes to things like Reach or ODST.
Or Halo 4. And Halo 3.
Do you think I'm missing out by not playing Halo 4?
No, because you played Doom.
Yeah.
Shut your
Oh.
Shut
that doesn't even get me anymore. It's just a punchline now.
I know.
They're not even this. Get out.
Oh, you saw the setup. You saw this. You should have seen the setup coming
Get out.
From what I saw, Reach and ODST seemed like breaks from the original material that looked like they put a fresh spin on things and gave more of the backstory to what's actually going on within the world. I do feel like I'm missing out by not playing those, but I have those within access. Should I ever want to play them, I can play them anytime I want.
And they are good.
I just haven't really gotten around to it because, yes, I'm playing Doom, or I've got No Man's Sky to catch up on. I've been playing through all the Borderlands again because I'm trying to keep fresh on the content for my stream. I've got a lot I need to do.
That's good.
When you have 300 plus games in your Steam library,
That's not even my total library.
yeah, it's very hard to get through everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I have about 200
speaking
in
of
my Steam library.
Speaking of Steam library things I saw get releases last week,
Oh, yeah?
Battle Chess got released this last week.
Battle
Yeah,
chess?
I saw that.
The original Battle Chess
No
was
way.
released. Yeah, and it was
It's almost a GOG thing I'd expect, but not...
yeah. And it was like silently released. There was no fanfare. There had been no purchases on it. This was crazy.
Kind of like those silent but deadlies.
It was released.
Battle chess was kind of one of those, yeah.
It was released for $10, but it was off it was like 40 or 60% off for the first week. Granted, I still didn't pick it up, but it had the original. The original Battle Chess.
Okay, so there's a Battle Chess Game of Kings.
And then there's the Interplay Battle Chess.
Yeah, let me see if there's...
And it literally dropped. And I was just like, this game is like late 80s.
Oh, yeah, that is the stuff, man.
And they have the original sound effects. The horrible screechings and from like bad speakers and everything. This was a chess game. And I may end up picking it up at some point and actually playing it.
So the big draw for Battle Chess for those people who made this maybe a little before their time or something like that was the chess pieces were these fully stylized caricatures of the actual things that the chess pieces represent. So the pawns were actual like small foot soldiers, the knights were knights, the rooks were castles,
and they fought.
They actually, when you had one piece capture another, those two pieces were pitted against each other, and then the outcome was decided, of course, by chess, not by some random dice roll or something like that. It was just if one piece captured the other, that piece that was capturing won. And so you had these weird setups where it's like, what happens if the queen gets captured by this thing or the pawn captures this thing? And it's really cartoonishly, really well put together. Little vignettes when one piece captures the other. It's hilarious to see things like if a rook captures the queen, then it just picks her up and eats her. Yeah. And, weird kind of zany, crazy stuff like that. It was probably one of the things that made chess an actually interesting game back in the day when I was like, chess is so stuffy and boring.
I like chess.
I like chess too.
So do I.
Yeah.
So speaking of tabletop games like chess, this is why I'm going to segue into that.
Do continue. I'm going to go and try to take care of some background noise I might not have taken down.
Tabletop games. Okay.
Yes.
So traditional tabletop games, board games, and stuff like that.
Yes.
So something's coming out that's called Table Play.
Is it a Microsoft Surface?
Essentially, it's not a Microsoft Surface, but essentially, so what they were talking about is taking all the tabletop stuff and make it digital, and you have like this digital board that you play on.
Okay.
And so you put like let's say Dungeons and Dragons have those little figurines.
Yeah.
And then you put it on it and it displays a digital copy of it. And it's supposed to be changing the whole way of tabletop gaming. Now,
this sounds like iteration number 2 because, well, it's not the Microsoft Surface Pro per se, but remember they had the Microsoft Surface table thing.
Oh, you're talking about the glass table thing.
The glass table
that
thing?
wasn't designed for that was designed for photos, but yeah, go on.
The glass. No.
You're talking about that giant table where the
giant table in 2010.
That was supposed to be for military purposes only?
No, they were using it for education and other things too.
Weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
that's nowhere even near what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
this is sort of
the same line.
It's not even a table-sized tablet. It's more of a board game. Like you take the usual layout from a board game and you make that into a tablet. That's what it's basically is a tablet the size of a board game thing.
So the Lenovo all-in-one 27-inch PC had an app built in that did this exact same thing, and they had like bumpers and everything too. So this is not a new thing.
It's probably more making it more affordable. What this really reminds me of is sort of a DIY concept that's been going around a lot, which is taking some table, some major big wooden table, and managing to embed a all-in-one touchscreen PC or a gigantic tablet inside of it for tabletop gaming.
Yeah.
So do you think that will change the game of tabletop gaming? Do you think people are going to stop getting traditional board games and go with that?
No, absolutely not, because this concept has been tried in multiple different iterations. I mean,
this is $350 pre-order, or if you buy it straight out of the box when it comes out, $600. You're paying for a game.
So you're paying for a game console, then you have to pay for the games on top of that.
For a 24-inch touchscreen, all-in-one PC, basically, that is going to be specifically set up for something like this. And this is what has to be at least the third time third time we've seen this iteration.
When was the last 2 times you've seen these?
Lenovo with their all-in-ones, with their
So they made
27-inch all-in-ones, they had this built in as an option, and they had paddles and everything.
And they had a design to replace tabletop games?
Yes. Yes, they did. And the Microsoft Surface actually, the original Microsoft Surface tables were shown doing things like this too for education or gaming and everything, for classroom use and everything also. So
now these people, what they're trying to do is try to get the game support. So I understand what you're getting at.
Because the last Microsoft one he's talking about, it was used, the commercials they were showing for, where the person took their phone and it displayed everything on there.
Yeah.
And the other one was military, where they were showing military maps.
Yeah.
There was no gaming in that.
There's also an education version that they showed too.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, this
one.
company is specifically trying to gauge towards the tabletop gamer and have they're actually trying to entice game lines, if I'm reading this right, such as Skylanders or Disney's Infinity, which is no longer a thing.
Oh, it's not?
I think they're retiring Infinity. Was it either Amiibo or Infinity, whatever?
Disney Infinity
Amiibo.
went away.
Amiibo.
Yeah. No, Infinity. Disney retired Infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm just saying it.
What they're trying to do is get integration with the actual game side of things and push that it's a game focused thing instead of just gaming being part of the package, like with the Lenovo or the Surface or anything like that.
I don't count those. I've never seen them point towards this.
Yeah,
just because you didn't see them, it doesn't mean it didn't exist.
Because I don't believe you.
Now, this looks interesting. Unfortunately, it would mean that we'd actually have to have a flat surface clear enough to put something like that on. And our house has this horrible
cats.
Well, I mean, not just cats, but the people living there have this horrible thing where they've got this phobia of flat, clean surfaces. True. So stuff has to be all over the flat surfaces as much as possible.
True. And also that Surface Glass thing failed because of the price.
Yeah,
because it was like what, $4,000?
No, the actual Surface table is more like $1,200.
$1,200.
$12,000.
That's even worse. No one could afford.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's the Surfaces are trying to do the sort of the Apple line of things where it's you're paying for a name.
Are you sure that was Microsoft? I don't think it was Microsoft.
It was Microsoft that had that big Surface table thing. We're talking like 2010, 2011.
No, I know. I've seen most of it. It looked pretty cool for the time, because at the time for that one, they also were trying to do like these crystal memory things, where they were trying to store data into it, but it was just too.
Now you're sounding crazy, and I don't believe you.
You know what?
Speaking of sounding crazy. So did you guys hear that Twitter is planning to actually make it so you can broadcast live video?
Mm-hmm.
So you can broadcast live video.
All day, every day.
That'd be kind of cool.
Isn't that a great, unique service that
you could just see me every
Twitter
day.
could provide?
That's called Periscope. That's nothing new. Okay.
Yeah, apparently, because I believe it was Twitter that ended up buying Vine and retiring it. Was it Twitter that bought
I think
Vine?
it was Twitter.
No.
You sure? Look it up. Fact check that.
No.
Twitter buys Vine. Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Twitter bought Vine and closed it down.
Oh, wow.
And so this is apparently what they decided to do with the resources that they got from purchasing Vine.
Well,
now they're putting out a live streaming service and saying, and unfortunately they're trying to sell it like it's the latest greatest thing to ever happen to all the Twitter users out there. And it's like, no, they had Vine before, they have Periscope, we have Snapchat, you can do it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's just like the table thing. It's been done before.
Okay, you guys are catching up, kind of.
Kind of. Yes.
Kind of.
So
that's craziness.
Blase.
The other thing is apparently Windows decides when you update.
Yes.
Yes. But apparently they want to make it so that they want you to know that they decide when you update, because apparently with the latest Windows 10 Creators Update, if people were forcing the updates, they could actually end up with some very nasty hardware incompatibilities. That's okay. And Microsoft's answer to that is, well, you should have waited until we told you your computer was ready for the update.
No. You probably want to read into this, because number one, they started pushing it out in waves. However, you could actually specifically go to their site, download the Windows 10 Creator or the Windows 10 Readiness tool. It checks your computer to make sure that you are A-OK to download the update. You download the update and you end up putting it on the machine. Okay, that way before the Windows Update service does it for you. So there's still a Windows check in here for this. Mm-hmm. But even with all this, Good job, Microsoft.
You still broke everything.
You still broke webcams. Okay? You broke webcams again.
Wow, are you seriously yelling?
Yeah, they broke his webcam.
Yeah, so we have a Logitech Brio we've been doing some like testing with and playing with it in-house and everything else like that.
The new fancy 4K.
Yeah, the $200
webcam.
4K webcam. Okay?
You broke it?
It broke it. Number one is it goes, I don't know where the drivers are, George. I don't know where the drivers are.
Did you go to the vice manager and point it towards the right driver?
Oh, no. Here's the thing. You actually have to uninstall the Logitech Brio driver.
Uh-huh.
And then you have to point to the generic USB webcam driver. So
then
to
it
fix
can't
it.
do 4K.
So, and then when you try to actually, no. When you try to even use the webcam, doesn't matter if it's in 4K or 1080 mode, it just goes glitchy with the screen. And I can't use it with OBS. I can't use it with Action or anything else like this. But no, I can go take a $100 Logitech 920C camera and I can use that just fine at 1080 all day long.
I'm just going to say this in joking manner, okay? Get off my lawn!
This is the second update that they have jacked webcams.
Now, normally I'd say he was overreacting, but it's what he told me after all this, and I was about to say you're overreacting. The thing on the box for the Logitech Brio is that it is a compatible camera with Windows Hello. That Microsoft paid, that Logitech paid, that they all put money in to make sure that they could say it was compatible with Microsoft products. And it's not anymore.
And they killed it.
They killed it. And this camera just came out.
Like February.
Yeah.
This camera is so stinking new.
This is amusing.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this.
This is ridiculous. And the Windows Hello is supposed to allow you
Get out your
to
popcorn,
log in by your face.
Yeah.
Okay? You log in with your face. But if you put the creators update, you better remember your password because guess what? Your face is invalid.
I'm going to say something, and it's just me admitting it. He was right.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a different table. This is the table you were talking about. That's the Microsoft one.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's not the one I was thinking of. There was a concept one that was out. Not this one. This is the one you're talking about. There was a concept one that was supposed to be used only for military.
Yeah.
And the other one, that's a different table completely. That's not even the same thing.
And the thing about it is when you get to that size of screen and that size of touch screen even, and having that on a table or something, I mean,
Yeah, like look at that one.
Yeah, I mean,
This is the one he was talking about. I was thinking something that,
I'd be worried about destroying that thing in 20
and it may
different
not
ways.
even been just for military. You're right. It may have been.
And that's got to be like an $8,000.
No, this
table.
is a $1,200 table.
$1,200?
$12,000.
table. Yeah, I'd be worried about ruining that thing 20 different ways. And I mean, it's like, I
That's how
gotta
big
really.
it is.
Yeah, that thing is huge.
So
that's something a company would have, or like a
yeah,
museum
I've
would
actually
have.
Yes.
Yeah.
where I work, they actually have it hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they have other things.
No, they had this exact one hanging on the wall.
They also have smart boards, and that's kind of ironic because they're not very smart.
So I'm just letting you know, you were right. Now you can feel better.
Yay.
Here's your gold star.
Yay.
Your camera's still broken.
Your camera's still broken.
So,
Your camera's still broken.
if you do anything with the newer Logitech Brio cameras, and I know that I'm a small percentage of the population that has one, don't get the creator update right now. You get hosed so hard. I mean, it's like I can't use Action with it. I can't use OBS Studio. I can't do any normal recording with it because it's all glitchy and everything. And this thing has such a much better built-in microphone, just being 4K and everything picture-wise, instant background replacement and everything.
I'm thinking you got enough time to like just kind of poke at it just enough before the update hit, to get a sense of what it was capable of, and then after the update hit, it's like psych and just took it all away from you.
I know.
And yeah, that's once again just golf clap, Microsoft. Absolutely golf clap. Oh yeah. Okay, so golf clap and you missed the putt. Like you messed it up again.
I know. I don't get it, especially this one, especially with the Microsoft Hello. It's like Microsoft just hates people's faces for some reason. Okay? Oh, wait. You put in Beam also for live streaming.
Yeah.
And what do people do on live streaming? They put their faces on there with the gameplay. And you screwed the pooch.
Yep.
So, Microsoft, why is it with Windows 10 that when there's a big Service Pack update, you put your head in the sand? Every time. It's great.
But anyways,
Now you've set off the dogs.
Now,
you have set up the dogs.
speaking of other things that are not being,
this is the weird and wild for the day.
this I think is going to be the last one too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're winding down here.
So, animal activists have managed to get the boxing kangaroo removed from the Western version of Tekken 7.
Oh, yeah,
But Kuma the bear is allowed to stay because it is obviously stronger than a human being.
Say what?
Yes! That's what makes this dumb. So, the boxing kangaroo...
Animal activists.
Yes, animal activists.
Was it PETA?
Uh,
What animal activist is concerned about video game animals?
yes, PETA, actually.
PETA?
PETA has been complaining
Okay,
about
so
this
the
for years.
animal rights mafia decided to take on video games because Falwell took a break.
No, PETA's gone after games for quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, I think PETA did something about the cruelty of Mario and Yoshi. Also,
Oh yeah, jumping off of Yoshi to
Yeah.
like get that extra jump in.
yeah,
Okay, a lot of gamers will probably admit that actually feels pretty cruel. Like it doesn't feel good to do that, but it's a game mechanic.
right.
It is, unfortunately.
That's when you get all the cartoons where it's all, yeah, just don't look down. He looks down. There's like a mountain of Yoshis. And he's like,
Yeah. No. Yeah. Or was the one where it's like they said that in the Japanese version they had there's this one level in Super Mario World where they had the dolphins kind of like bouncing around, and if you had a Yoshi in that level in the Japanese version, you could eat the dolphins.
huh,
But in the Western version, you couldn't.
that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing,
Because they wanted to avoid that kind of concept. So in Tekken, there's a fighting kangaroo. How long has this fighting kangaroo been in Tekken?
for quite some time,
Like the first one?
first couple,
First
you
couple?
know, it's been a big staple. But part of the reason for this change is because of that recent video where the guy's dog was headlocked by a kangaroo, and he just walks up to that kangaroo and punches it in the face.
I saw that. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
And the kangaroo just looked
Kind
at
of
him
looked down
like,
like, what the fuck?
What the hell, mate?
I don't even know how to. I'm out.
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah.
fucking bounces away.
But you gotta let go of the dog. What
It
did
did.
What did PETA want that guy to do? It's his dog, and it's a wild animal threatening it.
The dog was going to die because
Yeah.
it was being choked out by a kangaroo. And kangaroos there are plenty of incidences in Australia where people are injured by kangaroos all the time. They are not cute little helpless, defenseless creatures. They can be just as dangerous as a bear for Australians.
Yeah. Like when you think, oh, kangaroos are cute and everything, like, no, those are wallabies, folks. Wallabies are tiny things that look kind of like kangaroos, but they're fluffier and cuter. They look like more muscular rabbits. Kangaroos look like raptors. All right, they're huge. They're hulked out like Mike Tyson, and they punch like a boxer because they don't have any teeth. Like these are predatory animals, and if they happen to get a hold of, I mean, they are capable, way more capable of defending themselves than a bear, I could say.
I don't know. Depends on the bear.
Well, I'll tell you what. You find me the bear that it depends on. We'll pitch you against it.
No, we're getting to some old world things. They used to make kangaroos box each other for entertainment.
They used to have kangaroos box people for entertainment, and people would get hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
Like a kangaroo is fully capable of defending itself. Now, so they've caved already. The kangaroo, what is it called? Roger Jr.?
Roger Jr.
has been removed from Tekken 7 because of animal rights activists. Just the Western version, though.
Yes.
Okay. So in Australia and New Zealand, where you would expect to see fighting kangaroos, it's allowed. Because is that Western gaming?
I would technically say yes, because it's outside of Japan.
Anything that's outside of Japan is Western gaming.
Yes.
By the way, you're wrong about the price on that table. It was
Why do you keep going back to this?
I don't know. I just wanted to see how much it was. I want to see if it was $12,000.
We just got done talking about a fighting kangaroo getting a reprieve from Western gaming because of animal rights activists. You don't find any of that interesting?
I did.
You don't have a single opinion on any of that.
No,
you want to talk about your $12,000 gaming table.
Not 12,000.
What is it?
It's like 9,000.
$9,000.
Oh, pardon me, 9,000.
We were off $4,000.
Yeah, that was off. I was also looking up something else because I was looking at the other.
Is that
thing I
today's
posted.
pricing or 7 years ago pricing?
So let us know what's more relevant to you folks: a $9,000, $12,000, $4,000 gaming table, or Roger Jr.'s horrible exploitative plight being finally given a reprieve in
or
Tekken
the
7.
remake of Battle Chess.
Or the remake of Battle Chess.
What was
$10 now.
What was the
on
name of
Steam.
that one game for Nintendo where you actually had forts and you shot cannons across from each other? It was for Nintendo.
Oh man,
Do you know what I'm talking about, right?
kind of. There's been a couple like that. I think he's losing it.
I think he's lost it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Where it's
Kind
I
of.
think it was like
there was a couple. I remember seeing something like that on an obscure game theater.
yeah, like you had
YouTube.
castles. You actually had castles on each side.
Yeah. For some reason, it's making me think
Warlords.
Not warlords.
For some reason, it's making me think Scorched Earth, but I know that's not Scorched Earth. That's a DOS game.
No, it's a DOS game.
Let us know if you know what the one he's talking about. Let us know down in the
let us
comments.
know.
Otherwise, I believe that's our show.
That's our show. The cat says goodbye.
The cat says goodbye, folks.
Yeah, so this has been the GACC podcast. We do come out in audio formats on Google Plus and Apple iTunes.
Yes.
Make sure to look for the video version. We come out on VidMe and YouTube. And remember to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you
upvote, follow, rate, review.
Yes. All that wonderful stuff. And make sure to come check us out at the Duke City Comic Con, May 12th through 14th. And
We'll be somewhere in our alley. Like, look for the
the Afro Samurai. I'm just kidding.
And do make sure, all of our actual paying subscribers over on VidMe, again, very appreciative. We're having to expand out this card at the end of every show, so expect a new card for this one, too, because we've gone up subscribers again.
Yay.
So thank you all very much.
Thank you, yes.
And we will see you all next time.
Laters.
It's kind of tricky to get. There's the metal piece on the back that you can keep it from moving, but yeah, it's nice. It's I would say that's about a 4K monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4K.
I don't know why you would need
Well,
that.
I mean,
but,
it's just,
it's
it's
kind of
there.
funny.
It's available.
because it was a widescreen. So the guy that was